My name is Lena. Every night, I stayed late. He always found a reason to keep me there. I was his secretary. But then, everything changed. I was his secretary until I wasn't. I want to tell you my story. It is a story about hard work. It is a story about hope. And it is a story about love. I am 24 years old. I live in a very big city. The city is full of tall buildings. The city is full of fast cars. It is always loud. It is always busy. But I am not from this big city. I grew up in a small village. My village was very quiet. We had trees. We had rivers. We had fresh air. My family still lives there. My mother and father are good people. They work on a farm. They work very hard. They wanted a better life for me. Go to the city, Lena, my mother said. Find a good job. Make a good life. I listened to my mother. I packed my small bag. I hugged my parents. I cried. I felt very sad to leave them, but I wanted to make them proud. I took a long bus ride to the big city. The city was very scary at first. There were too many people. Everyone walked so fast. Nobody smiled at me. I felt very small. I felt very alone. Maybe you know this feeling. Maybe you feel small sometimes too. It is okay to feel scared. We all feel scared sometimes. I rented a very small room. It was on the top floor of an old building. It was cold in the winter. It was hot in the summer. I had a bed. I had a small table. That was all. I needed a job. I needed money to pay for my room. I needed money to buy food. I walked the streets every day. I looked for a job. I went into shops. I went into restaurants. I asked, "Do you have work for me?" Many people said no. I felt very sad. I wanted to go home. But I did not give up. You must never give up. Keep trying, keep going. One day, I saw a tall glass building. It looked very important. I walked inside. I talked to a woman at a big desk. I asked for a job. She looked at me. She asked, "Can you type?" "Yes," I said. "Can you answer phones?" she asked. "Yes," I said. "Can you make good coffee?" she asked. "Yes, I make very good coffee," I smiled. She told me to wait. I sat on a chair. My hands were shaking. I was very nervous. I waited for 1 hour. Then, the woman called my name. "Mr. Davis will see you now," she said. I walked into a very big office. It had big windows. I could see the whole city. A man sat behind a large wooden desk. He wore a dark blue suit. His hair was very neat. He looked very serious. He did not smile. "My name is Mr. Davis," he said. His voice was deep. "I need a secretary. You must be fast. You must be quiet. You must work hard. Can you do this?" I stood very tall. I looked into his eyes. "Yes, Mr. Davis. I can work very hard." He looked at me for a long time. Then he nodded. "You start tomorrow. Be here at 8 in the morning. Do not be late." I was so happy. I smiled a very big smile. "Thank you, Mr. Davis. I will not be late. I ran out of the building. I wanted to sing. I called my mother. I told her the good news. She was very happy for me. I had a job. I was a secretary in a big company. I felt like my new life was starting. The next day, I woke up at 6 in the morning. It was very dark. It was very cold. I drank hot tea. I put on my best clothes. I wore a white shirt and a black skirt. I brushed my hair. I looked in the mirror. "You can do this, Lena," I said to myself. I walked to the bus stop. The bus was full of people. Nobody talked. Everyone looked tired. But I was not tired. I was excited. I arrived at the office at 7:30. I was early. I liked to be early. I found my desk. It was outside Mr. Davis's big office. My desk was very clean. I had a computer. I had a telephone. I had pens and paper. At exactly 8 o'clock, Mr. Davis walked in. He did not say good morning. He just walked past my desk. He put his bag down. "Lena," he called from his office. "Coffee, black, no sugar." "Yes, Mr. Davis," I said. I went to the small kitchen. I made the coffee carefully. I brought it to his desk. He did not look up. He was reading papers. "Thank you. Now, type these letters," he said. He pushed a big pile of papers toward me. I took the papers. I sat at my desk. I started to type. I typed very fast. The phone rang. I answered it. "Good morning, Mr. Davis's office," I said. I took messages. I sent emails. I organized files. The work was hard. My back hurt. My eyes hurt from the computer screen. I did not stop. I wanted to be the best secretary. I wanted to do a good job. At 5 o'clock, the office became quiet. People started to leave. They put on their coats. They said goodbye. I packed my small bag. I was ready to go home. I was tired. I wanted to eat dinner. I wanted to sleep. I stood up. I looked at Mr. Davis's office. His door was open. He was still working. He did not look ready to leave. I walked to his door. "Good night, Mr. Davis," I said. He looked up from his computer. He looked at me. "Lena," he said, "can you stay? I have more work." I felt my heart drop. I was so tired. I was so hungry. But I needed this job. I could not say no. "Yes, Mr. Davis," I said softly. I put my bag down. I sat back at my desk. I turned my computer on again. That was the first night. But it was not the last night. Every night, I stayed late. He always found a reason to keep me there. Sometimes, he needed me to type one more letter. Sometimes, he needed me to read a long document. Sometimes, he just asked me to organize his old files. The files were not important. They were from many years ago. But he still asked me to stay. I did not understand. Why did he want me to stay? Other secretaries went home at 5. Their bosses went home at 5. Why did Mr. Davis stay? Why did I have to stay? I thought life was going to be easy. I thought having a job would make me happy. But I was just tired. Very, very tired. At 8 o'clock at night, the big building was empty. It was very quiet. I could hear the clock on the wall. Tick, tock, tick, tock. I could hear the cars on the street far below. I typed the old files. I looked at the window. It was dark outside. I felt lonely. I missed my small village. I missed my mother's warm food. I missed hearing people laugh. Mr. Davis did not laugh. He never smiled. He just worked. One night, it was raining very hard. I watched the water on the window. It was 9 o'clock. I was still at my desk. I was reading a very long report. My stomach made a loud noise. I was very hungry. I had not eaten since noon. Suddenly, Mr. Davis walked out of his office. He looked at me. He heard my stomach. I felt my face get hot. I was very embarrassed. "I am sorry, Mr. Davis," I said. I looked down at my shoes. He did not say anything. He walked away. He walked to the kitchen. He came back with 2 small boxes. He put one box on my desk. "Eat," he said. I opened the box. It was a sandwich. It looked very good. I looked at him. He was eating his sandwich too. He stood by my desk. We ate in silence. It was a strange moment. The strict boss and the tired secretary, eating sandwiches in the dark office. "Where are you from, Lena?" he asked suddenly. His voice was low. It was not his boss voice. It was a normal voice. I was surprised. He never asked about my life. He only asked about work. "I am from a small village," I said. "Far away from here." "Do you like the city?" he asked. I thought for a moment. "It is very big," I said, "and very loud. But I want to do well here. I want to help my parents." Mr. Davis nodded. He looked out the window at the rain. "My parents were poor," he said softly. "They worked in a factory. I wanted to help them too. That is why I work so hard. That is why I stay late." I looked at him. I saw a different man. He was not just a strict boss. He was a son. He was a man who cared about his family, just like me. "I understand," I said, and I really did. After that night, things changed a little bit. He still asked me to stay late, but I did not feel so angry. I did not feel so tired. I understood him more. Every night we stayed late. I did my work. He did his work. Sometimes he bought dinner. We ate pizza. We ate noodles. We talked a little bit. I learned that his first name was David, but I still called him Mr. Davis. He asked me about my day. He asked me about my village. He listened to me. Nobody in the big city listened to me before, but he listened. I started to look forward to the nights. The days were busy and loud. The phones rang. People walked around. But the nights were quiet. The nights belonged to us. Just me and Mr. Davis in the big glass building. But I was still his secretary, and he was still my boss. One day, I made a very big mistake. It was a Tuesday. We were very busy. The phone did not stop ringing. I had a lot of papers to type. Mr. Davis was in a bad mood. He was stressed about a new client. The new client was very important. He had a lot of money. He wanted to do business with our company. Mr. Davis gave me a very important paper. "Type this, Lena," he said quickly. "Make sure the numbers are perfect. This is for the big client. We cannot have any mistakes." "Yes, Mr. Davis," I said. I typed the paper, but I was rushing. I typed a 9 instead of a 0. It was just one number, but it changed everything. It changed a small price to a very big price. I printed the paper. I did not read it again. That was my mistake. Always read your work. I gave the paper to Mr. Davis. He put it in an envelope. He sent it to the client. 2 hours later, the phone rang. It was the client. He was very angry. He shouted on the phone. Mr. Davis closed his office door. I could hear his deep voice. He was trying to make the client calm. My hands started to shake. I knew something was wrong. Mr. Davis opened his door. He held the paper in his hand. His face was very red. He walked to my desk. He put the paper down. He pointed at the number. "Did you type this, Lena?" he asked. His voice was cold. I looked at the number. I saw the 9. I gasped. "Oh no, I am so sorry. I meant to type a 0. I was typing too fast." I felt sick. My stomach hurt. My eyes filled with water. I was going to cry. I am a bad worker, I thought. I am going to lose my job. I will have to go back to my village. I will fail my parents. "I am so sorry, Mr. Davis," I said. My voice was shaking. "Please do not fire me. I need this job. I will fix it. I will work for free. Please." I waited for him to shout. I waited for him to say, "Pack your bags." But he did not shout. He took a deep breath. He closed his eyes for a second. Then he looked at me. His face was softer now. "Lena," he said quietly, "stop crying." I wiped my eyes with my hands. "I am sorry." "It is a big mistake," he said. "The client is very upset. But shouting will not fix it. Crying will not fix it. We have to fix it together." He pulled up a chair. He sat next to my desk. He did not go to his big office. He sat right next to me. "Open the file," he said gently. I opened the file on my computer. My fingers were still shaking. He reached out and touched my hand. His hand was warm. My hand stopped shaking. "Take your time," he said. "Change the number. We will print it again. I will call the client. I will tell him it was a computer error. I will fix it." I changed the number. I printed the paper. He took it. He smiled a very small smile. "Thank you, Lena. Be more careful next time." "I will," I promised. "Thank you for not firing me." He looked at me closely. "I would never fire you, Lena. You are the best worker I have. You just made a mistake. We all make mistakes." He walked back into his office. He called the client. He fixed the problem. I sat at my desk. My heart felt very full. He protected me. He helped me. He said we were a team. We, not just me and my boss, but we. I liked that word. Winter came to the city. The wind was very cold. The sky was always gray. Snow started to fall. It was beautiful, but it made life hard. One morning, I woke up and felt very bad. My head hurt. My throat was on fire. I was hot, but I was shivering. I tried to stand up, but I fell back on the bed. I was very sick. I looked at my clock. It was 7 in the morning. I had to go to work. I had to make Mr. Davis his coffee. I dragged myself out of bed. I put on my clothes. I walked outside. The snow was deep. My boots had holes in them. My feet got wet. They were freezing. I stood at the bus stop. I was shaking. My chest hurt when I coughed. I knew I could not work today. I felt so weak. I walked back to my small room. I took off my wet boots. I got under my blankets. I picked up my phone. I called the office. A different secretary answered. "Please tell Mr. Davis I am sick," I said. My voice was very rough. "I cannot come today." "I will tell him," the secretary said. I closed my eyes. I slept for many hours. When I woke up, the room was very dark. I felt terrible. I was thirsty. I wanted hot tea, but I had no energy to make it. I lay in bed and stared at the ceiling. I felt very lonely. When you are sick, you want your mother. You want someone to hold your hand. You want someone to tell you, it will be okay. But I was alone. Just Lena in a cold room in a big city. Suddenly I heard a sound. Knock, knock, knock. Someone was at my door. I was scared. I did not know anyone in this building. I put my blanket around my shoulders. I walked slowly to the door. "Who is it?" I asked. My voice was very weak. "It is David," a deep voice said. My eyes went wide. David, Mr. Davis. My boss was at my door. I quickly opened the door. He was standing there. He wore a long black coat. There was snow on his hair. He was holding 2 large plastic bags. "Mr. Davis," I gasped. "What are you doing here?" "You are sick," he said simply. He walked into my room without asking. He looked around. He saw my small bed. He saw the cold walls. He frowned. "It is freezing in here, Lena," he said. "I am sorry," I said. I felt embarrassed. I did not want him to see how poor I was. I did not want him to see my small, ugly room. He put the bags on my small table. He took off his coat. "Go back to bed," he ordered. But it was not his strict boss voice. It was a caring voice. I did what he said. I sat on my bed and pulled the blanket up. He opened the bags. He took out a small electric heater. He plugged it into the wall. Soon, hot air filled the room. It felt so good. I closed my eyes and smiled. Then he took out food. He brought chicken soup. He brought fresh bread. He brought tea. He brought medicine. He opened the soup. It was very hot. He brought it to me. "Eat," he said. I took the spoon. I ate the soup. It was delicious. It tasted like home. It tasted like someone cared about me. Tears came to my eyes. "Why are you crying?" he asked. He sat on the only chair in the room. He looked worried. I am not sad, I said. I am happy. Nobody has done this for me in the city. Thank you, Mr. Davis. Call me David, he said quietly. When we are not in the office, call me David. Thank you, David, I whispered. He stayed for 2 hours. He made me drink tea. He made me take medicine. He told me a story about a funny thing that happened at the office today. He made me laugh. I had never heard him tell a joke before. He had a nice smile. A very nice smile. I have to go now, he said finally. He stood up and put on his coat. Do not come to work tomorrow. You need to rest. Stay warm. What about your coffee? I asked. What about the typing? I can make my own coffee, he smiled. And the letters can wait. Your health is more important. He looked at me softly. Good night, Lena. Good night, David. He left. The room was warm. My stomach was full. My heart was full. I fell asleep with a smile on my face. I stayed home for 2 more days. David sent a message to my phone every morning. Are you feeling better? He asked. Did you take your medicine? He asked. I felt so special. I felt like I was important to him. On Monday, I went back to work. I felt strong again. I wore my best white shirt. I felt happy to be back. I walked into the office. I made his coffee. Black, no sugar. I brought it to his desk. He looked up. His eyes were bright. You are back, he said. I am back, I smiled. Thank you for the soup. Thank you for the heater. You are welcome, Lena. Now, we have a lot of work to do. He was the boss again, but it was okay. I knew he was a kind man inside. The next few months were very busy. The company was growing. We had more clients. We had more work. I worked very hard. I learned many things. I did not just type letters anymore. I read important documents. I learned about the business. I learned how the company made money. I learned how to talk to clients on the phone. I became very good at my job. Sometimes, a client called and asked a hard question. Before, I would say, "Please wait. I will ask Mr. Davis." But now, I knew the answer. I would say, "I can help you with that." And I would solve the problem myself. David noticed. He saw that I was learning. He gave me more important work. He trusted me. We still stayed late every night. But it was different now. We did not eat in silence anymore. We talked. We talked about business. We talked about life. We talked about our dreams. What is your dream, Lena? He asked me one night. We were eating Chinese food. It was 10 o'clock at night. The city lights were shining through the big window. My dream, I asked. I thought about it. When I came here, my dream was just to survive. I wanted to have food. I wanted to pay for my room. I wanted to help my parents. And now, he asked. He looked at me closely. Now I want more, I said bravely. I do not want to be a secretary forever. I want to build something. I want to be a manager. I want to sit at a big desk too. I know I am smart. I know I can do it. I stopped talking. I felt embarrassed. Maybe he would laugh at me. A village girl wanting to be a manager. But David did not laugh. He looked at me with deep respect. "You are very smart, Lena," he said. "You are smarter than many people in this building. You work harder than anyone I know. You can be whatever you want to be." His words made me feel powerful. If he believed in me, maybe I could believe in myself. You must believe in yourself too. If you have a dream, hold it tight. Work for it. Do not let anyone tell you that you cannot do it. You are strong. You are smart. You can do great things. A few weeks later, our company had a very big problem. We had a very important meeting with a huge client. If the client said yes, our company would make a lot of money. If the client said no, we would lose a lot of money. David was very stressed. He did not sleep. He drank too much coffee. He rubbed his eyes. He paced around his office. The meeting was on a Thursday afternoon. 5 men in expensive suits came into the big meeting room. David went in. I brought them coffee and water. Then I went back to my desk. I could hear them talking through the door. The clients were not happy. They did not like David's plan. They said it was too expensive. They said it was too slow. "We need a better idea, Mr. Davis," the head client said loudly. "Or we will take our business away." I sat at my desk. I looked at the papers from the project. I had read them many times. I knew the project very well. I knew the numbers. I looked at the papers. I saw a different way to do the project. It was faster. It was cheaper. It was a very simple idea, but nobody else saw it. I felt my heart beat very fast. Boom, boom, boom. Should I go in? Should I speak? No, I thought. I am just a secretary. They will be angry. They will tell me to leave. But then I remembered David's words. "You are very smart, Lena. You can be whatever you want to be." I took a deep breath. I picked up the papers. I stood up. My legs felt weak, but I forced them to move. I walked to the meeting room door. I knocked once. Then I opened the door. 6 men looked at me. They looked surprised. They looked annoyed. "Lena," David asked. He looked confused. "We are in a very important meeting. What is it?" "I am sorry to interrupt," I said. My voice shook a little bit, but I made it louder. "I have an idea for the project." The head client laughed. It was not a nice laugh. "The secretary has an idea," he said. He looked at David. "Is this a joke, Mr. Davis?" David looked at the client. Then he looked at me. He saw the fire in my eyes. He saw that I was serious. David stood up. He looked at the men. "Lena knows this project better than anyone," David said firmly. "We will listen to her." He pulled out a chair next to him. "Sit down, Lena. Tell us your idea." I walked to the table. I sat next to David. I put the papers on the table. I did not look at the men who laughed. I looked at the numbers. I took a pen. I started to speak. At first, my voice was small. But as I explained my idea, my voice grew stronger. I showed them how to save time. I showed them how to save money. I pointed at the numbers. I explained everything clearly. I spoke for 10 minutes. The room was perfectly quiet. Nobody laughed anymore. They just listened. When I finished, I put the pen down. I looked up. The head client looked at the papers. He looked at me. He looked at David. A big smile grew on his face. That, the client said, is a brilliant idea. It is perfect. Why didn't you show us this plan first, Mr. Davis? David smiled a huge, proud smile. He looked at me. Because I have the smartest team in the city, he said. The meeting ended well. The clients shook David's hand. They shook my hand too. The head client looked at me with respect. You have a good head on your shoulders, young lady, he said. They left. David and I were alone in the meeting room. I felt like I was floating. I did it. I spoke up. I saved the project. David turned to me. He did not say a word. He just grabbed me and hugged me. It was a tight, warm hug. He lifted my feet off the floor. You did it, Lena. You are amazing, he laughed. He was so happy. He put me down. We looked at each other. We were very close. His hands were still on my arms. The office was quiet. He looked into my eyes. His smile faded softly. He looked at me with a look I had never seen before. It was deep. It was warm. Thank you, Lena, he whispered. You are welcome, David, I whispered back. He let go of my arms slowly. We walked out of the meeting room, but something had changed. The air felt different. I felt different. The next day, David called me into his office early in the morning. Close the door, Lena, he said. I closed the door. I sat in the chair in front of his desk. I have been thinking, David said. He looked at a piece of paper on his desk. You are too smart to be answering my phone. You are too smart to be making my coffee. I felt a sudden panic. Are you firing me? I asked quickly. Because I spoke in the meeting. I am sorry, No, David laughed. He held up his hands. Lena, I am not firing you. I am promoting you. He pushed the paper across the desk. I looked at it. It was a new contract. You are no longer my secretary, David said. You are now a project manager. You will have your own office. You will have your own computer. You will not type my letters anymore. You will run your own projects. And you will make much more money. I stared at the paper. I could not believe it. A manager, me, the girl from the small village. I was going to have my own office. I was going to make good money. I could send money to my parents. I could rent a nice, warm apartment. Tears fell down my face. Happy tears. Thank you, David, I cried. Thank you so much. You earned it, Lena, he said. You did the hard work. I signed the paper. My hands were shaking again, but this time from pure joy. I moved into my new office. It was smaller than David's, but it was mine. I had a big window. I had a nice chair. I put a picture of my parents on my desk. I bought new clothes. I bought a warm winter coat. I rented a beautiful apartment with heat and a big kitchen. My life changed completely. I was a manager. I was busy. I went to meetings. I talked to clients. People listened to me. People respected me. But there was one thing I missed. I missed the late nights. Because I was a manager, I did not have to stay late to finish secretarial work. I finished my manager work at 6 o'clock, and I went home. David had a new secretary. Her name was Sarah. She was very nice. She made his coffee. She typed his letters. At 5 o'clock, Sarah went home. David stayed in his office. I went home to my nice apartment. I made a nice dinner, but my apartment felt too quiet. I missed eating pizza from a box. I missed the dark office. I missed talking to David. We still talked during the day, of course. We talked about projects. We talked about numbers. But we were always surrounded by people. We never had our quiet moments anymore. One Friday evening, I decided to stay late. I did not have any work to do, but I sat at my desk anyway. I waited. At 7 o'clock, the office was empty. Sarah was gone. The other managers were gone. The lights in the main hall turned off. I stood up. I walked to David's office. His door was open. His light was on. He was typing on his computer. He looked tired. I leaned against the door. "Are you working hard, Mr. Davis?" I asked playfully. He looked up. He saw me. A huge smile spread across his face. He leaned back in his chair. "Lena," he said, "you are still here." "I am," I said. "I missed the quiet." "I missed it too," he said softly. He stood up. He walked over to me. He stood very close. "Are you hungry?" he asked. "I am always hungry for bad office pizza," I laughed. He ordered a pizza. We sat on the small sofa in his office. We ate from the box. It tasted wonderful. It tasted like our old times. "How is the new job?" he asked. "I love it," I said. "It is hard, but I love it. I am very happy." "I am glad," he said. He looked at me. His eyes were very soft. "You look beautiful today, Lena." My breath caught in my throat. My cheeks grew hot. He had never told me I looked beautiful before. He always talked about my work or my brain, but never my beauty. "Thank you, David," I said quietly. He put his pizza down. He turned to me. He took my hand in his. His hand was warm, just like the day I made the mistake. But this time, it was different. "Lena," he said. His voice was a little rough. "I have a problem." "What is the problem?" I asked. I was worried. "Is it a client? Is it money?" "No," he smiled slightly. "It is you." "Me? Did I do something wrong?" "No, you did everything right," he said. He squeezed my hand gently. "When you were my secretary, I asked you to stay late every night. Do you know why?" I thought about it. Because there was a lot of work. David shook his head. "No, the work could always wait until morning. I gave you old files to type. I gave you long papers to read. They were not important." I felt confused. "Then why did you keep me here?" Because I wanted to be near you, he confessed. He looked deep into my eyes. From the first day you walked into my office, you were different. You were brave. You worked so hard. You never complained. I liked watching you work. I liked eating dinner with you. You made this cold office feel like a warm home. My heart pounded in my chest. I could not speak. I just listened. I hated it when you went home, he continued. So I always found a reason to keep you here. I am sorry if I made you tired, but I just wanted to spend time with you. And now, he sighed. Now you are a manager. You go home early, and my office is so lonely without you. I felt a warm tear slide down my cheek. I smiled. I was lonely at home too, David, I whispered. He reached up and wiped the tear from my face. His thumb was soft on my skin. Lena, he said, I do not want you to be my secretary ever again. You are too smart for that. But I also do not want you to just be my manager. I want you to be my partner, in business and in life. He leaned in closer. Can I take you on a real date? Not eating pizza in the office. A real dinner, like normal people. I laughed out loud. A happy, bright laugh. I would love that, David. I would love a real dinner. He smiled. And then, very slowly, he leaned in and kissed me. It was a soft, sweet kiss. It was the perfect end to a long journey. That was 3 years ago. Everything is different now. I am a senior director at the company. I have a very big team. I help young girls who come from small villages to find jobs. I tell them not to be scared. I tell them to work hard and learn everything they can. David and I are married. We had a beautiful wedding in my home village. My mother cried. My father smiled. David bought my parents a new tractor for their farm. He is a good man. We live in a beautiful house together. It is always warm. We have a big kitchen. We cook real meals. We do not eat bad pizza very often. But sometimes, when we are very busy at work, we stay late. The office gets quiet. The city gets dark outside the window. We sit on the sofa in his office. We eat from a plastic box. We look at each other and we remember. We remember the strict boss and the tired secretary. We remember the long nights. We remember the hard work. I learned so many lessons in those years. I learned that hard work brings a good life. It is not easy. Some days you will cry. Some days your feet will hurt. Some days you will want to quit. But if you keep trying, you will grow. You will get stronger. I learned that a mistake is not the end of the world. If you make a mistake, do not run away. Face it, fix it, learn from it. And I learned that love can hide in strange places. It can hide behind a strict face. It can hide in a late-night office. It can hide in a bowl of hot soup on a cold winter day. If you are listening to this story right now, I want you to know something. You are capable of great things. Maybe you feel tired today. Maybe your job is hard. Maybe you think nobody sees your hard work. But someone sees it. Keep doing your best. Keep learning. Speak up when you have a good idea. Do not let fear keep you quiet. You have a voice. Use it. You might start at the bottom. You might start in a cold room with old shoes. But you do not have to stay there. You can climb. You can build your own big life. It takes time. It takes patience. But you can do it. I believe in you. I was just a girl from a village. I was his secretary. I brought him coffee. I typed his papers. Every night, I stayed late. He always found a reason to keep me there. Until I wasn't just a secretary anymore. I became a manager. I became a leader. I became his partner. I changed my life. And you can change yours too. Thank you for listening to my story. Keep your head high. Keep smiling. And never, ever give up. You are amazing. Keep going. I know you will reach your dreams, just like I reached mine. Life is full of wonderful surprises, just waiting for you to find them.